Okay, so let's get into the discussion sessions. I'll do a brief overview on the woman at midlife and her mental health or mental well-being. I believe this is critical because it sets the foundation for the other topics we're going to talk about, for all the other things. So here's the woman at midlife. What's her state of mind? What are her experiences? What has life dealt her? I want to start by reading some statistics to you. Let me read some statistics to you. According to WHO, depression is more persistent in women than men, and is the most common women's health problem. Anxiety is noted as twice as likely in females than in males over the life course. This is by Mental Health Foundation. Women are far more prone to neurotic type disorders, encompassing the spectrum of anxieties and phobic complaints. How did we get here? Why the statistics? Let me tell you what happens in the life of a woman. You know, as humans, our lives are in seasons and transitions, especially as a woman. Our lives as women are in seasons and transitions. First, we are single, and then we get married, and then there's motherhood, and then there's child rearing. You know, in the season of singlehood, the life of a male and a female is essentially the same. We go through the same experience. In fact, indeed, you can remember that in our primary schools, in our secondary schools, women were the girls were the brightest. Oh yes. If you agree with me, put that in the chat area if you disagree with me. The girls were the brightest. The girls were the senior prefects. They were the prefects. And then a major disconnect happens. Somebody says yes. Oh yes, in my daughter's school, head girl, assistant head girl, this class prefect girl. A major disconnect happens when we get married and begin to have children. In virtually all the countries of the world, the responsibility of rearing the children falls predominantly on the shoulder of the woman. And that is when careers are to be launched. So for women of my generation, the younger ones are beginning to rebel. For women of my generation, because of the challenges of balancing our productive role and our reproductive roles, a number of women, intelligent, bright, took time off their careers to raise their children. And here's the woman at midlife, here's the woman at marriage and child rearing. She pours her life into her husband, fantastic. She pours her life into her children, excellent. But then she makes one mistake. She forgets that the beginning of her child's life need not signal the end of her own individuality and identity. I take that again. She forgets that the beginning of her child's life need not signal the end of her own individuality. A mistake I learned the hard way. My children came back to back. After my first child, my pregnancies are usual, and as I say, it is real. We're not redoing PowerPoint slides. It is sharing. It is real conversations. My pregnancies are usually very, very, very difficult. But my deliveries are very easy. I just push once and the children come out. So I had my first son, my first child, a boy. And then my second child came 1 year after. And you know what? It was crazy. So I took a career break that spanned a period of 6-7 years. Excited about marriage, fantastic. Excited about child rearing, fantastic. But then, I neglected my individuality, my purpose, and my identity. 6-7 years down the line, here I was, over 100 kg, and struggling with low self-esteem. And I've had to reinvent myself over and over. And that has been the experiences of a number of women You know, in Harvard Business School did a survey, and they found out that 50% of women alumni from their Harvard Business School were not working. Women of our generation. How do you go to HBS, Harvard Business School, and then you don't build your career? Now, on top of the challenges of losing our own individuality and identity in the place of child rearing and motherhood, a number of women go through abuse in their marriage. You know, I was listening to a woman who was talking about, she's a counselor, she was talking about another woman who she counseled. She says, this particular lady, a PhD holder, has been so abused mentally, not even physically. Mental abuse is worse than physical abuse. Because with physical abuse, you know what is going on with you. You know what is going on with you. But with mental abuse, you have no clue. It says this woman has been so abused that she doesn't even remember her name. When you ask her, what's your name? Who is she? She can't even give you a coherent answer. So on top of the challenges of losing your individuality and identity, remember we're talking about the woman at midlife and her mental well-being. A lot of women have gone through abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, financial hardship, health issues, disappointments, and all of that. And so here's what happened. You enter into midlife, stuck, tired, weary, disconnected from your core essence, lost touch with your individuality and sense of wholeness, and you need to be put together again so that you can function. Disconnected from who you are. So this is what the platform of the fulfilled woman offers. In this midlife season, you must prioritize your mental well-being. No, yes. You must prioritize self-care in midlife. It's not a luxury. It is not selfish. No. Over the years, we've poured ourselves on our children. They are grown up. They are doing well fantastically. Oh, we thank God. At midlife, you must prioritize your mental well-being, your financial security, intimacy in your marriage or love life. You must live a balance. You must strive for balance in all areas. Otherwise, you will enter into a regretful old age. Don't forget, after midlife, the next season is old age. So now is the time to fix it. So I just want to run through, so we know what the problem is. Healing from trauma is a journey, but it starts with sharing. It starts with being in a community of like-minded people. It starts with being in a place where you can grow yourself, personal development. And that is the community that we offer in the Fulfilled Woman. Now, society is not even kind on women. I didn't even talk about the part of society. You know, we live in a very patriarchal society where women are stigmatized by religion, stigmatized by society, stigmatized. So you are married and you have children. You lose individuality. You are married, you have children, you do not want to leave your career, you struggle with juggling. Okay, you are married and you do not have children, society feeds on you. Okay, you are married, your marriage packs up, it doesn't work out. You are a loose woman. Okay, you did not even get married at all. You remain single. Society feeds on you. You are married, you do not have children. Your in-laws, society feeds on you. So as a woman, there's intense pressure. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to balance every aspect of your life. And as I round up this session on the woman at midlife and her mental well-being, I want to give a few tips on how you can prioritize your mental well-being in this season of your life. Number one, move from being a victim of your circumstances to surviving and thriving. And you've got the power. Options are always available. Nothing means means anything except the meaning that you give to it. And the meaning that you give to it is not the only meaning. Options are always available. I give you 2 instances. 2 women. One we read on social media. Sees her husband with a side chick and is chasing after the man and ends up ending her life. I give you a second scenario. And this was shared in a women's business meeting like this. A woman got up and she said, buy your peace. And we say, what does it mean to buy your peace as a woman? She said a woman traveled and returned home and caught her husband in bed with another woman. She returned earlier and caught her husband in bed with another woman. And she said, you missed me that much. Sorry, you missed me that much. No stress. She goes, opens this door, lets the other woman out, and begins to minister to her husband. That is the same situation that people have brought out guns, shot themselves, shot the man, shot the side chick, even went out to shoot the security man for opening the gate, open the cupboards, shoot all the cockroaches, and they end up shooting themselves. Listen, ladies, nothing means anything except the meaning that you give to it. Hear me, ladies. The meaning that you give to it is not the only meaning. Learn to interpret your life experiences and your existence in a way that buys your peace, ensures your peace. People do not get you irritated. They just do what they do. How are you responding? You have the power to respond differently. You have the power to interpret it differently, but you do not have the power to cause the other person to behave in a way that you like. That husband is not wicked. He's just doing what he's wired to do. That child is not selfish. That's how he's wired. Interpret your experiences in the way that will buy your peace. So, number 2, you don't have the power to change other people, but you have the power to choose how you respond. Get out of the goalpost and get into the midfield of your life. Own yourself, own your experiences. That's what we're talking about today. Secure your finances. Love your husband. Build your marriage. Build yourself. Look good. Take care of yourself. Exercise. Figure out what you are good at. Connect to your purpose. Purpose helps you look at a higher calling. Purpose is what you were created for. In the place of your purpose, you find your fire. You cannot live a fulfilled life unless you understand what your purpose is. You connect to your purpose and you begin to live your purpose. I am in the place of my purpose and my assignment. This is where I find my fire. Building women, transforming women, shaping women, helping women to get up and go and dominate their sphere of influence. That is my passion. That is my purpose. That is what I was created for. Find your own passion and your own purpose. Get ready to step out of the comfort zone. Go the extra mile. I made up my mind to give you a virtual experience. I could have logged on my laptop and just done a normal Zoom. But I said, no, let's give you an experience. Let's give you a virtual experience. That's why we started it. We're trying to get all of this connectivity done. So go the extra mile in everything you do. Be known for excellence. Be known, put in the extra effort. Step out of the box. Don't follow where the crowd is going. Chart your own course. Chart your own path. And in a matter of time, success will find you. Success. Single yourself out for excellence. In a matter of time, it's just a matter of time, success will find you. Run away from toxic people. Run away from toxic environments. Environments that pull you down, that make you feel less than you are supposed to be. You are a child of God, fearfully and wonderfully made. You are complete in yourself. Stop comparing yourself. That person you are comparing yourself with, the wig, the makeup is fake like your own. So why are you comparing? Do you know what they are going through? Stop comparing yourself. Run away from toxic environments. Environments that are trying to put you in a box. That are trying to cage you in a box. Run away from them. Run away from fun types of people. Small-minded people. People who, when you tell your high goals, your ambitious goals, they say, is it not true? Will you be able? They give you 1,000,001 reasons why you cannot achieve it. Then PhDs, pull him down, pull her down. Run away from them. Run away from friendly enemies. Those who are around you, they are your friends, but they are actually enemies. Run away from them. Run away from the last one, miserable sympathizers. They mean well for you. That's why they are miserable. That's why they are sympathizers. They mean well, but they discourage you. They actually mean well, but they discourage you. miserable sympathizers. You want to run away from them. Be very intentional about what you focus on. I'm rounding up now, and then we go to the woman and her financial security, her money. Be very intentional about what you focus on. What you focus on magnifies. Selective attention. In psychology, it is called selective attention. What you focus on magnifies, whether it is good or bad. A lot of times we pick that particular irritation that is in our life and we focus on it. It begins to magnify. The brain begins to magnify it. But you forget all the other things that are working. That one thing that is not working, you focus on it. You want to be very intentional about your focus. Prioritizing your mental well-being in this season of your life. You've got to be very intentional about what you focus on. Jack Ma is quoted as saying, if you want to feed a problem, keep thinking about it. It is so easy for us at midlife. We are focusing on what has gone wrong, what could go wrong, what we should have done, what we didn't do, what may have done. Stop after today. Stop. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on? How is it helping me? Is it helping me to be happy? Reinterpret it, rechange it, and change your focus. Own your experiences. I've already talked about that. Take control of your life. Be an observer and a controller of your life. Be a thermometer fluctuates with the temperature, but a thermostat is constant. You be a thermostat. Stop being a thermometer. Stop fluctuating up and down. Be very selective about who you permit into your inner space. At midlife, you want to be selective about who you permit into your inner space. You are not for everybody. Even in your work, you are not even called to everybody. There are over 7 billion people in this world. You are not called to the 7 billion people. Stop chasing after everybody. Know your multitude. Know who you are called to serve. A tiny dot. You are called to a tiny dot. Even in your friendships, in your associations, you must be very intentional in this season of life. Very, very intentional. Do not let people's actions determine how you feel, your emotions. No. Stop waiting for people to apologize to tell you sorry. Supposing they don't, you won't be okay. Assert yourself. Know when to assert yourself. Know when to speak. Even the Bible says, answer a fool, otherwise he will think he's wise. And then again, he says, do not answer a fool. So know when to answer a fool and know when not to answer a fool. Know when to run. Know when to stand and fight. Know when to walk away. Know when to speak. Know when to be silent. The greatest wisdom, the greatest service you can do to yourself in this season of your life is to choose your battles. Know when to speak. Know when to stand. Know when to fight. And know when to walk away. Challenge the way you see yourself. And I like this. Who says you are not beautiful? Where's the evidence? Where's the statistics? Where did they say women who are beautiful, this is how they look? Show me. In psychology, we look for evidence. Show me the evidence. Who says you are not good enough? Where's the evidence? Who says you are too short? Who says you are too fat? Who put out the statistics? Who says you are too old? Too old for what? So challenge the way you see yourself and your perception of things. Identify underlying negative attitudes and change them. Replace negative attitudes with positive affirmation. I am beautiful, I am talented, I am graced, I am anointed, I am gifted. Even when you do not feel like it, speak it out. The words of your mouth are powerful. You don't feel like it, oh, speak it out. Speak it out. The things that we see were created by the words of our mouth. Anticipate change. And then when change comes, be ready to move with the change. Regular exercise is a must in this season of life. Exercise. It releases positive endorphins, the hormones, the well-being hormones, the feel-good hormones. And exercise doesn't have to be anything strenuous. Take a walk. Some of us are too lazy in this season of life. Every day you want to be a better version of yourself than yesterday. Not comparing yourself with anybody, but a better version of yourself. Intentionally practice gratitude. Journal 10 things you're grateful for. Connect to your spirituality, your faith, your life's purpose. As I say, purpose helps you connect to your current Purpose helps you connect your current reality to a desired future. Challenges may stretch you, but they actually make you feel better. They actually make you grow. Accept yourself wholeheartedly. Lastly, in this season of your life, ladies, accept yourself wholeheartedly. Self-regard is the unconditional acceptance of yourself, and it is different from self-esteem. Self-esteem is when you accept yourself because of something you have or something you are. But self-regard is the unconditional acceptance of yourself. You want to ensure your mental well-being in this season of your life, ladies, accept yourself wholeheartedly. You are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are gifted. You are talented. There's something inside of you. There's greatness inside of you. Arise and let the world experience your greatness. God bless you. The woman at midlife and her money. It will be take the form of a discussion, to be in the form of discussions with the financial experts in the house. I already read their profile, Tosin and Deborah. Building financial security. Is it too late for me to get it right? And our panelists, as I said, are Miss Tosin and Miss Deborah. Okay, are we good to go? All right. Okay, so the woman at midlife, what exactly is financial security? And this is directed to Tosin. What exactly is financial? You know, we're talking about the woman at midlife and her financial security. What exactly is financial security, Tosin?
Okay, so there's this famous phrase I know most of us would have heard, that the best time to plant in trees is 20 years ago or 7 years ago. But with financial security, the best time is now. Yes, you've made mistakes in the past. You told us what to do. Some of the things you had to reflect on. That is life. Sometimes as human beings, we make mistakes. Sometimes we're not thinking, we don't necessarily feel like this person is more man. We see like a perfect woman. But the truth is, there's nothing that is too late. As long as you're alive and you're still here, you can get it right. Every woman can get it right. If you're 40, you think, okay, I want to start being concerned about finances, start now. Speak to a specialist. Speak to a professional adult. The steps to take. You can start today. I'm sure my contact will be made available. Speak to us. Call me. Reach out to me. Reach out to the main trustees. Say, okay, I'm at this certain age. I want to make changes to my financial situation. I will be there to guide you to do every step of the way. But like I said, it's not too late for any woman on this platform. In fact, you should even be glad that such a platform has been set up for you to get more knowledge about how to secure your financial finances.
Okay, thank you. I was beginning to say, I thought we were going to say, once you are 50, is over. No hope. No hope for us. So let me take a deep breath, because I was saying that, is it too late for me to start? Okay, at least I'm glad. Now, something caught my attention when you were speaking. You said you may have made mistakes. You may have made mistakes. And I'm wondering, what are some of those mistakes we may have made concerning our finances? And this is to Deborah. What are, in your own opinion, Tosin says we may have made mistakes in your younger years. What are some of those bad mistakes, financial mistakes, that we make when we are young, when we're young? So just not for us, so that we can know for the young ones, for even our children. And then we can know, because you have to know what a mistake is before you begin to find the solution. So what are some of those mistakes, Deborah, that we make? Yes.
Thank you very much. So to start with, one of the mistakes we make as women, especially in our formative years, is that we are prone to impulse buying and unnecessary expenses. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, as women, there are times that we go grocery shopping, for example, and then we already go to the market with our own grocery list. We have a list of the things we want to get at the market that day. And then we get to the market or the supermarket, and then, for example, we find out that
Elizabeth Arden, for example, has released a new line of perfumes. Now, a perfume was not even on your list to begin with, not to talk of an Elizabeth Arden perfume. And to make it even worse, you have several bottles of different ones at home. But because you are just a collector, you just want to buy that one that you did not budget for. Now, these are habits that if we do not take care of, if we do not nip in the bud early enough, before you realize that they have a bad impact on our finances. So I would say impulse buying is the first financial mistake we make as women. Then I also mentioned unnecessary expenses. Now, as women, we make, yes, I know that there are certain times when we want to live a particular lifestyle, we want to hang out at a particular spot in town, we want to buy the latest communication gadgets, the latest iPhones, we want to buy the latest Ashwebi. The list goes on. Now, while it is not out of place to want all the good things of life, I mean, we all deserve the baby girl lifestyle, so it's not out of place to want these good things. But one thing we should always consider is that we should always live within our means. So we should tend to curb the African on expenses. Two mistake as women is that we are prone to sentiments. We are prone to sentiment. Now, as women, we tend to be more sympathetic to our family and friends when it comes to our finances. And that is why when we receive calls from home or from our friends and family about needing financial aid, for example, we stray out of the line of reason, and then we give in to all these requests without actually being firm in our financial decision. This is another mistake that we tend to make. We are too sentimental to actually be firm in our decision making when it comes to finances. Thirdly, I would say disinterest is a financial mistake we make as women. Now, a lot of women tend to leave the management of finances to their family members, some even to friends. Now, this is not ideal. As you mentioned, and as Tosin also mentioned when she was speaking, relationships may go on, eventualities may happen. What then happens when a woman suddenly finds herself in a situation where the person who was managing her finances is no longer there? And this is somebody that knows next to nothing about what our finances looks like. So that is why we as women should always make sure that we have a bit of information. We are involved in the management of our finances, no matter how slight. And I also take a cue from that same Proverbs 31. You know, a virtuous woman should also build her home. A virtuous woman should actually build her home, and finances definitely forms part of the pillars of the home. So a woman should always be interested in what her finances looks like and how it is being managed. Now, another financial mistake is zero savings culture. A lot of us have zero savings culture. Some people do not even have the culture. They don't save at all. And for some that do save, they have very poor saving cultures. And that is why there are some people who, or they have some savings somewhere, and then at the slightest discomfort or at the slightest issue, they break into this savings. They are not firm in their decisions to save. They have zero savings culture. Some even tell you that they don't have to save. Now, save does not mean count alone. There are a lot of several ways a woman can build a financial future apart from savings. Then fourthly, a lot of us do not budget. Not budgeting is another financial mistake we make as women. Now, some of us just go with the flow. We operate the spend as we earn. Now, I coined that. We operate the spend as we earn policy. As we earn it, we are spending it, no budgeting. Oh, an inflow of 300K came for me in September, for example. Ordinarily, a financially wise woman, a virtuous woman should actually put a budget to whatever income comes to her at a particular point in time. Put some aside for your savings. Yes, put some aside for baby girl spending. There are budgets to these things. There are lots of things. There are lots of different aspects to our lives as women. We have the baby girl part of it. We have children to cater to. Some of us have husbands. Some of us have household things to cater to. We have families we are responsible for. A lot of us are firstborns, for example. We have a lot of financial responsibility. So we should not always operate this spend as you earn policy. You have to always put a budget to whatever income you earn. Then lastly, for now, there are a host of other financial mistakes, but for now, the last one I would mention is procrastination. Now, like Tosin said, the best time to start is now. Yes, you might have made financial mistakes. Yes, you might have been ignorant about, some are even ignorant about these things. A lot of people do not even know that there are things like this in place. So regardless of everything, regardless of whether you knew about them or not, regardless of whether you've made mistakes in the past, the moment you hear about it, the moment you take that decision, just set the ball rolling, put plans in place to actually start securing your financial future. So do not let procrastination stop you from living the baby girl life you deserve, even before retirement. So procrastination, like I said, is the final one I'll be stopping on for now. And yes, these mistakes, as women, we tend to make a lot of these mistakes, but I would say that the way we respond to them or the steps we take after making these mistakes are the things that actually direct our financial paths, especially in future. So I'll stop there for now. Thank you.
Guilty. Unbudgeted expenses. Just be putting your hand up in the chat. Anyone you're guilty of. Procrastination, guilty. Ignorance, guilty. Or guilty of all of the above. But there's something that when you were speaking, somebody said guilty. Okay. Living within your means, guilty. Okay, so something you said occurred to me, whilst we're speaking and naming all of these things, all of that. You have responsibilities, financial commitments here and there. Is the money ever enough? How can we be talking about saving when the money is not enough? What advice would you give on that? Is the money ever enough? There's always one thing coming. One demand here and one demand there, or one thing. And frankly speaking, those are genuine demands, So is the money ever enough? What can we do? Is there a such thing as saving even when the money is not enough?
Okay, thank you very much. Question. Yes. The direct answer to that question, to be honest, is that money is never enough, because a lot of things just keep coming at you. We don't even know. In fact, as of today, we don't know what will happen in the next 1 hour. So it is never enough. But however, like I said, we need to just find a way to save towards these eventualities. Now, little bread is better than no bread at all. So no matter how little, no matter how slight, every 1K here, every 5K here, depending on your earning, if you are the one who earns 1 million, 1 million is not enough for some people, but if you are the one who earns 1 million, you should be able to take something out of that 1 million. If you are somebody who earns 10,000 naira, for instance, yes, it is little bread, but 1,000 out of that 10,000 naira is still something. And before you know it, the moment you master this savings culture, it just forms part of you. And before you know it, even when you start earning the big money, it's automatic. You just see yourself doing these things. You see yourself saving without even knowing it. So like I said, the what's it called? The lesson here is that you should imbibe the culture. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just imbibe the culture and start with as little as possible. Then with time, you would find out that it's already part of your life.
Okay.
One thing that helps, just to add to that, one thing that I find helps me is that when I take that money and I put it aside, I'm like, supposing I don't have this money. I see somebody raising her hand. Please just take down your questions, write your question down, or put it in the chat area. We'll have a session of really digging deep if you've not answered your question. So I was saying that one thing that I discovered that helps me is when I take that money and I put it aside, and I will say to myself, supposing I didn't have that money. So having that mindset that supposing that money doesn't exist, supposing I didn't have it. So just putting it aside and closing my eyes to it and saying, okay, that money is not there at all. I think that would, just to put out there that I think that would help, So still on you, before I leave you alone and go over to Tosin. And somebody here, you may be saying, oh, because I introduced people as working in the bank and all of that, is financial security, only achievable if you are a career-driven woman. If you are in a career where maybe your job is in an organization or you are in a structured environment. So let's break it down. Is financial security only for those kinds of women, or irrespective of who you are? Financial security, you should aim towards that. What are your thoughts on that before I go over to Tosin?
Salaried employment and the woman on the entrepreneurial path are both career-driven women. They are careers on their own. Whether you work for an organization or you sell pepper, they are both career-driven women because they are working towards something. Now, yes. Now, because financial security is not a matter of social status or where you work or maybe even your educational background, it is achievable by any woman, provided that you take the right steps to ensure that your future is financially secure, provided that you set the right tools in motion to ensure financial security. So I'll give you an example. Growing up, especially those of us that stayed with our grandmothers, we've heard stories of all the Saleko business women. Now I'm using that word because that is how they told those stories to us. Now all these Saleko business women and traders from way back who amassed a lot of wealth back then and built empires. In fact, some of those empires are still standing today, especially those ones that sell fabrics. A lot of those empires are standing today. Now, a lot of them were not even literate, but they took steps to secure their financial futures back then. And today, they have empires, like I said, that are still standing. So this just goes to show that whether a woman is on the corporate path or she's a fabric merchant at Balogun Market, or whether she's even a homemaker, who some people refer to as housewives, you can achieve financial security so long as you put your heart to it and you actually take steps towards getting that done. And one of those steps is approaching a professional such as us at Wellbeing Trustees if you do not have the know-how, because some people actually do. So one of such steps to take is to approach professionals who would guide you, hold your hands as you take the journey to build your financial security.
I totally agree with you, Deborah, when you said even if you are a homemaker. You know, I heard of a particular woman that any amount of money that her husband gives her to go to the market, she takes something, she saves something out. She removes something, and she was amazed to find out that at the end of 1 year, she was amazed at how much she has saved. This is just from housekeeping money. 1,000 here, 2,000 here. And when she brought it out and she showed to her husband, you were able to save this? So I think that just, I just thought I should put that out there because that occurred to me when you were talking about even if you are a homemaker, whatever it is that you are, money comes into your hands. Our streams of income are not only the income that we earn from our own work. Income from gifts for your birthday. It's a stream of income. It's income from somebody dashing you. But just as we say, we see, so it's a kind of a mindset thing. So we see that income that somebody gives you as a gift for a birthday as for lavish spending. No, it can be tailored into saving and so on. The same way you tailor the one that you earn from your own business. I hope I'm correct because you guys are the financial expert. I hope I'm correct.
You are. Absolutely, you are. I just wanted to add something to what Deborah said, Can I speak? Okay, so I just wanted to add something that, you had asked a question earlier, and I'm trying to marry both answers. You had asked the question earlier that, is the money ever enough? The truth is, money is never enough, but you as a woman, you have to be deliberate about your financial life. You have to be deliberate. Today, someone can give to you 1 million naira and, it seems like a lot of money, but with what is going on with the naira against the dollar, in 3 months' time, people are anticipating that dollar would reach 1,000, So in the beginning, it might seem like, okay, yeah, this is a lot of money, but then later on, it's not a lot of money. But regardless of how much it looks like, as a woman, please take some money aside. Like you said, if they've given you money, maybe someone sends you 1 million for your birthday, take some out for enjoyment because so take some money out for yourself for enjoyment, and then please save at least 50% of whatever you're getting for that purpose. But then as your income increases as well, your expenses would increase. I remember when I was earning, I don't know if I should disgrace myself and say I was earning 60,000 naira. And I was like, okay, life is not so bad. And then when I got a salary bump to 150K, and I was like, okay, now I'm rich. But then I just realized that my expenses also increased. So regardless of my expenses increasing, I already built up a savings culture. It's almost like paying your tithes, really. And I can say this because we're on the Believers platform. It's almost like paying your tithes, really. If you're not able to pay it when you're earning 10,000 naira, you're not going to be able to pay it when you're earning 100,000 or 1 million. So savings is like that as well. If you're not saving when you're earning just small, or when the money looks like it's so tiny, you're also not going to be able to save when you're earning a lot more as a woman. And then career does not mean you're wearing 9 to 5, you're wearing suits all the time. Even if you're a homemaker, even if you sell, you've heard stories. I know there are a lot of stories about a woman who was selling moi moi or akara, and then that took her all the way to the US, and she ended up building a $1 million business. So don't look down on yourself. We've said this morning that you can do it. You're a confident woman. Don't look down on yourself and think, oh, because I'm earning this little financial security, well, I'll just depend on my husband. Oh, my husband has got me in this. No, you can attain it. You're a Proverbs 31 woman. And that's it. That's just what I wanted to add. Thank you.
But the next question I was going to ask, and this was to Tosin. So here is this woman at midlife, who's maybe out there, maybe on Facebook, because we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, on Zoom, and she's saying all these ones people are speaking is just grammar. Me, I haven't even started. So here's this woman at midlife who she has never heard the word financial security. She doesn't even know savings and all of that. Where's the best place to start from? And she's attended this program. And when I tell people in my programs, whenever I organize the program, I say, you've got to do something with the knowledge that you acquired. Otherwise, you've just wasted your time. 2 hours, 3 hours spent here, you must take a step up. No matter how little, it's a step. And it's a step in the right direction. So for that woman who is out there, who's saying, me, I've not even started. What advice would you, just 1 or 2 tips that you can give? Where do you start from today? After she logs off Zoom, what should she do? What should she do to get started?
Okay, so the first thing I'll say you should do as a woman in midlife, we've already set out midlife 45 to 65, and you've not started. What do you have? That's the question I'm going to have you ask you. What do you have? If you've been in paid employment, you have your pensions. What do you have? How much do you have? Set out what you have. Take an inventory of your assets. Is it Brazilian hair? Okay, it's still something you can give to your grandchildren, no problem. Is it you have a car? You bought a car whilst you were working, your husband bought you a car. It's written in your name, you have the title document. You bought a property, your grandmother, your grandfather, your parents gave you one property in the village. Have an inventory of what you have. That is how to start. Now, when you plan, you set out all the things that you have and you've written them out. It's the next thing for you to start considering is, okay, how can I improve on this? How can I grow my asset class? How can I grow my asset inventory rather? How can I grow it? So those are the things that you need to, and then the next thing after that is to speak to a professional. Now you've set out what you have. You've set out, maybe you have 100 million in your bank account and it's just sitting there and the bank is just giving you 3% interest and you want to make more. You need to speak to a professional that can advise you on what kind of investments you should be making. Should you be making, or do you desire to make real estate investments? You need to speak to a professional that can hold you every step of the way. Like I said earlier when I was talking, it's not too late. 45 is not too late. 50 is not too late. 65 is not too late. But you need to start. You need to make up your mind that this is what I want. I want to be financially secured. I want to be able to say, okay, I've lived this long. I've lived this amount of time on earth, and this is what I have. Trust me, we all have something. There's no one here that can say they don't have anything to their names. I don't believe that. Like I said, you might have a car, you might not have a car, but you might have one property somewhere. You've been working all your life if you're in paid employment or a 9-to-5 job. You have your pensions that can help you in future, Then you've made some investments. Some of you have made investments in shares, in stocks, Eurobonds. Some of you have properties in different parts of the nation. Some of you may even have joint properties with your husband. You have something, but you can make it more. You can grow it. You can make more out of what you have. But you have to decide that I want to do it. And you have to decide I need to speak to a professional. And there's no one else you should be talking to. But
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tosin. You've just, that's actually true. We all have something. There's something you have. And a lot of times as I say, options are always available. A lot of times it's getting to that place of, really, really looking inwards, and you will see that you are richer than you actually think you are. So thank you so much for that, Tosin. Now, just borrowing from the last thing you said, one of the best things to do is to speak to a professional, because they say, if you want to find out how to drive a car, you don't just, you go and look for someone who knows how to drive a car, a professional driver to help you to teach you how to drive a car. So drawing from that, Deborah, what roles do professional fund managers play in a woman's journey to financial security? Tosin just says talk to a professional. What role exactly? What would a professional, let me ask, what would a professional be doing for me as I want to, my desire to build financial security?
Okay, so now, because professionals have
The expertise, they have the technical know-how, they have the skills, they have the resources and everything to manage or actually put people through building financial security, it is better to go to them. Because, as women, some people may have the basic knowledge of these things. Some women may have the basic knowledge of these things. But as women, the truth is that we have a lot on our plates. Some of us have husbands to take care of. Some of us have studies. Some of us have kids. Some of us have work. We have a lot of things on our plates. There are lots of things women think about. And as such, we don't have the time to actually, we may not have the time to give to building our finances or planning our financial futures. In fact, some of us may not even have the financial skills to do it. We don't have the expertise. We don't have anything. So it is always advisable. I will recommend that you speak to professionals at all times, because they are the ones who have the resources, they have the skills to help you, they have the skills to assist you. So if I would put it into two broad categories, the two things a professional fund manager can do for you is, number one, they would sit down with you to strategize the particular plans, or should I say vehicles, to invest your funds in. Then beyond assisting you in strategizing, they would then, having decided on the particular or the best investment plan that suits you, the investment vehicle that suits you, after strategizing and coming up with the one that is peculiar or particular to you, they will then go ahead to help you manage your investments. They'll help you manage your funds, depending on what you want to do. If it's estate planning, for example, after meeting with a professional who will hold your hands and come up with the best estate plan that suits you, the professional will then go ahead to help you manage these assets. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And I bet they would. I bet they would also help you, like going by what Tosin talked about. That they could also help you find. I'm just asking. Would they also be able to help you, like going by what Tosin said, as checking what you have, the what of what you have, and what you can do with what you have. I think that they would be able to help you. Am I right? They would be able to help you with that on that journey as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, why do some people believe that I can do it? What do you say to this person who says, all these people, all these professionals, they just want to, I can do it by myself? What would you be saying to that person? Still going, talking to you, Deborah. I know some people, as they're listening, all these ones are just grammar they are speaking. I will do it by myself. I can do, why can't I do it by myself? What would you, be saying to those kinds of people who have those kinds of thoughts? Yeah.
Okay, so if I come in contact with the person,
somebody has that mindset of I can do it myself, the first question I will ask that person is whether the person is in the financial space. Now, if the woman is in the financial space, then it is possible that that woman might be able to do it herself, because by virtue of her job or by virtue of her training, she has some know-how about these things. She knows the financial markets. She is able to monitor the market. She knows the vehicles to invest in, and so on and so forth. But then, even beyond being in the financial space, even beyond knowing about these things, I would still recommend that you approach professionals, because this is what they are trained to do. This is what they are trained to do. They are trained to be experts. They have the resources. They have the technical know-how. And something as huge as building financial security is a technical thing. It goes beyond just saving. It goes beyond just taking out estate plans. There are specific requirements that you have to put into consideration, and that is why you have to speak to professionals. You have to let professionals lead you as you go along on that journey. So yes, you may have the know-how, but I will recommend to you that you need to speak to a professional who will guide you along the way.
I want to take continue with that, what you just talked about, estate planning, because this is the second time we're hearing about it here. But I'll be directing my question to Tosin. Estate planning, what exactly does it mean? And then is it necessary for women to have an estate plan? Or is their husband's estate plan sufficient? So just take us through those terminologies, Tosin, that you've been talking about, estate plan, trust, and all of that. What is it about? Is it necessary? How does it help the woman at midlife? I actually thought that myself. So that's why we have my mind was actually going towards there.
But regardless of what your initial thoughts was about what an estate plan is, or what your estate is, I think I'll just start off by defining what is your estate. Do you want to your estate? Your estate is the summary of your assets.
Okay.
Like I said, we all own something. All of us will have something. The truth is, we are not being financial. We are not making smart investment choices. What you own is your breaking bag. Maybe something is actually the needs of investing for some people. But what you own is your bags, your shoes, your hair. But if you're making smart investment choices, then you own different things. You have cars, some jewelry, money in your bank accounts, that comprises of the estate, private jets. I don't know who understands on private jets. Shout out to you. Private jets, boats.
I do. You cannot afford not to live your life intentionally in this season of your life. You must be intentional. And I'm glad for the information, the kinds of knowledge that are being dispensed on this platform. And I'm really grateful that you decided to join us. I just want to take this to Deborah, and she talked about FBN Quest able to help. A lot of times when programs end, women are wondering, where do we go to? Where's the information? So how can women on this platform, so they want to get in touch with FBN Quest, how can you help them? What should they do? And then we take concluding remarks, and then we go to the topic of sex in marriage, which I'm sure a lot of people are really looking forward to. But we must get if finances are not balanced, then sex in marriage will not flow. So let's get our finances really balanced first, seriously balanced, then we can talk about the other issues. So how can they get it? How can FBN Quest help women on this platform to set up an estate plan, or the trust you talked about, or even to just get on their journey of ensuring financial security even in this season of life? Deborah, please.
Done so much justice to giving a background to what we do at FBN Quest Trustees, especially as it relates to estate planning. So I would say that if there are women, in fact, there should be women on this platform who should already be thinking about how to approach us at FBN Quest Trustees to set up their estate plan. So once such women make up their minds, because that's the very first step, once they make up their mind, all they need to do is to approach us. And when they do that, the way we would render our assistance is to sit with them, take an inventory of their assets, take an inventory of their income, their earning, what they have, financial assets, real assets, whatever it is they have. We'll sit down with them, and then together we'll come up with the best estate plan. We'll come up with the best estate plan that suits them. Now, Tosin has mentioned that we have two major tools, the wills and the two major tools, the will and the trust. Now, while it is advisable for everybody to have a will, we actually recommend that everybody takes out a will, no matter your age. Would also, depending on depending on every individual woman's assets or what they have, we can then specifically come up with a kind of trust that suits you too. So having a will doesn't mean you can't have a trust as well. You can have both. So while you have a will, some things you possess might actually make it requisite for you to actually have a trust as well. So once you approach us, we'll sit down with you, take an inventory of whatever it is you have, and then we'll come up with the best estate plan that suits you. And subsequently, we'll go with you on that journey, manage your estate for you, and give you advice as it comes, as situations arise, as events unfold, because as it is, no two estates can be the same. So things will definitely come up, events will definitely unfold. So once we decide on your estate plan, we'll go along with you on the journey. You won't be alone. Trust us on that. Thank you.
I want to leave the part of any final thoughts because we've not taken questions. So we'll leave the part of final thoughts. I'm sure you're writing your questions. Can I just have the questions? As they write the questions on the chat area, please pass the questions to me. When we get to Q&A, are questions coming on the chat area? Questions are coming, yes, please. So I want to leave final thoughts or your final thoughts till later when we do Q&A. I hope you're not running away. Today is public holiday in this part of the year. We want to hear about sex in marriage, right? So we'll leave final thoughts until we take Dr. Tolu is getting very set. I can see her. So we'll leave that, and then when we answer the Q&A, when we do the Q&A session, we will then give final thoughts on all the topics: the woman at midlife, her money, her mental well-being, and her marriage. And then we'll take some important announcements. Drop the links for phone numbers. Your phone numbers as well should be on the chat area for people who want to get in touch with you. And then we'll be done for the day. Okay. The woman, let's take a cup of water. Let's drink some water as we get set for take a cup of water, drink some water. This is, by the way, this is our Building the Dream mug. Take a cup of water, drink some water whilst we get set for the woman at midlife and the joys and challenges of long-term marriage. Dr. Tolu is in the house. I've already read her profile. She's always one woman who is always on point in makeup, in her hair, her wig, her dressing. Everything is always, her nails, everything is always on point. So as you listen to what she has to say, don't just listen to only what she has to say. Look at how the makeup should be for long-term marriage, to sustain long-term marriage. Look at how your makeup should be, how your hair should be, and everything. So it's a total package. She's telling us how we should look at midlife so that everything will balance. Okay, Dr. Tolu, thank you so much. I know how busy you are. Okay, somebody said 100% about Dr. Tolu. Yes, so we have you know her more than I know her. Yes. So, Dr. Tolu, thank you. I know how busy you are. I'm so grateful you could join us. I hope you have been having fun and learning also in the different sessions. And we'll go straight into your topic, the woman at midlife, the challenges of long-term marriage. Now, I want to start with some statements I've heard in recent times, that just worried me, So somebody said, when a man and a woman has been married for some time and are living in the same room for years, you become, and I'm just quoting verbatim, I may not be able to use the exact language the person used because we are live. I don't know about languages and all that. We're live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram, so I may not use that language, but it says, when a man and a woman has been married for years, and you have been in the same room, you now become like brother and sister, and it kills the private organ. The person didn't use the private organ. The person used the P word. It says it's a P killer. What that means is that the husband and the wife, the sex between the husband and the wife is not the same because they now begin to see themselves as brothers and as sisters. Dr. Tolu. And then the person says a husband and a wife should stay in different rooms and all of that. Because, and another conversation, before I go into another conversation, I was worried when I heard somebody was telling me this, that a group of men were talking and they said, because they have been married for a while, when they are with their wives, they can't get it up. But when they go out, they are able to. So, Dr. Tolu, I don't understand all of this. So, what are your thoughts about all of this? Because all of this is bordering about long-term in marriage. What are your thoughts? First of all, what is long-term marriage? What are your thoughts going with these opening statements that I gave? And then we'll take it from there. Remember, it's real conversations because somebody just must be helped on this platform. Over to you, Dr. Tolu.
Thank you so much. Thank you to every one of you that have spoken earlier. I've been enjoying myself and I've been learning as well. So long-term marriage, I think long-term relationship, marriage is meant to be long-term.
That's the whole essence. It's not something you are going into believing that you want to come out. It's something you, when you go in there, you are going in with the mindset of you want to go in there for the rest of your life. So if you are married, it's expected to be a long-term commitment. All right. So, but I think that answers the question of what long-term relationship means. Marriage is expected to be for life, forever. And then answering your question about whether so I remember I had a topic on radio some times ago, because these questions kept coming, loyalty to, I don't know, you don't want to use certain languages, but you have to permit me because I'm a sex therapist and I have to. So loyalty to one penis, loyalty to one vagina, a killer of penis. And with a question mark, that was the title of that topic. So, yeah. So, and people began to call in, and from experience, you found out that majority of people that have been married in a long time are having this problem. It's more common than you can even imagine, a very common problem. People getting married, sex was great. After some time, they stop having sex. The man could not get it up again. But if he goes out to sleep with another person, he performs so well. Now, is there any research to back this up, that when you are loyal to one vagina, that is going to begin to kill your penis? No, there's no research to back that up. There are different researches, there are different opinions on this, but there's still no substantial conclusion to say that when you are loyal to a vagina, it's going to kill your penis. Now, but there are lots of other things that could be causing the problem. And one of these things is over familiarity. When you get married, tendency is very high. Now, that is why self-awareness is very, very important. Ability to be conscious and be deliberate. In fact, when couples come for therapy, I tell them, in fact, I titled whatever we want to do to build intimacy back, I title it deliberate conscious effort. If I titled it consistent, deliberate, conscious effort. Meaning that there is a need. Please let me remove this background. I feel like yeah, I prefer it like this. So what I'm trying to say is over familiarity. When people get married, when people are in a long-term relationship, there is tendency that they tend to get extremely familiar, overly familiar with themselves. And then they stop making efforts. And like I said, it is very important to be deliberate, to be consistent, and to be conscious. Being deliberate means that you are deliberate about yourself, about your relationship. What am I doing to make things better? I tell people that you should be able to wake up once a day, once a week, once a month. What have been the cause of our conflicts? Why are we having conflict? What kind of conflict are we having? What have I done differently to invest in this relationship? What have I not done to invest in this relationship? That is the way we are supposed to be doing. For a lot of us, we grow in our finances. The finance specialists have spoken. We grow in our finance, we grow in our business, we grow in our career, but we leave our marriage behind. Because we don't invest in our marriage, we expect it to take care of itself. Unfortunately, this is the marriage that we actually even see. When you are in a bad marriage, you cannot function. People say, "Oh, even when you are when you are using coping mechanism, like you have zoned out emotionally, you are just there for their sake," which is the reality of a lot of marriages currently in Nigeria. People are just there because they have to be there. They are really zoned out. That is actually not good for your mental health. It's a coping mechanism, but it's a wrong coping mechanism. It is either you are in or you are out. When you are in and you are out at the same time, it's messing with your mental health. You cannot fully concentrate. You cannot fully do what you are supposed to do. You cannot, put in your energy. You are not vulnerable enough. So you don't even know what you are doing, and it's messing with your head. It is not good for your mental health to be in a dead marriage. It is either you are in or you are out. But for a lot of us, that is our reality. Majority are in a marriage that they are just coping. They are using coping mechanism to stay there. Let me stay because of my children, or we have been together for so long, there's nowhere for me to go. I know that there are some cases that could be very, very peculiar. But the truth is, if you are not in or out, you are going to be messing with your mental health. So for a lot of people, there's this tendency to be over familiar. So you stop making efforts. So you outgrow your marriage. You outgrow, you grow in every other area of your life, and then you leave your marriage behind. Unfortunately, you need the peace, the strength, the communion, the intimacy that come from that marriage to even keep you going in your financial world, in your business world, in your career. You need that. It's more like you need that inner strength to carry on when you go outside there. So a lot of times when you take care of your marriage, it begins to affect how productive you become outside. It begins to affect how happy you are going to be. In fact, I say that the kind of marriage you find yourself could even determine whether you're going to make heaven or not. Is that deep? For those of us that are highly spiritual, So yes, it is. I tell you from experiences, a lot of couples are in that situation. They are no longer having sex because the man cannot get it on. And it is not because there is a biological law or, to show that this is the reason why this is happening biologically or physically. In a lot of cases, it is psychologically. And that is why when most of these men are drinking all these different kind of mixing this and that together, all this thing they sell everywhere, and then they are drinking them, it's not going to change anything because your problem is not physical, it is psychological. So you get overly familiar, and then people stop making effort. People stop taking care of themselves. You see each other every day. Your breast, your vagina is everywhere. Your bum is everywhere. You are just walking around. You see it in the morning. You see it in the afternoon. You see it in the evening. What's there to look forward to? What's there to look forward to? So even talking about the separate room, I'm an advocate of that, actually. Using separate rooms, if that is going to help you. Like you mentioned something. I took a lot of notes. I've been taking notes. You talked about. I wrote something down. Prioritizing self, your mental health, and then all of that is talking about individuality. In the entity called marriage, if there is no individualism, that marriage will not survive. You see, that began to cope. There is need to know whom you are. There is need to have a life. In some cases, I tell my couples, I title whatever therapy we are doing for them, I title it, especially for women, get a life to get your man. For women that are saying, I want my husband back, get a life to get your man. Because when you don't have a life, there's no value. There's nothing for the man to look forward to. There's nothing enticing. As much as some researchers are saying, oh, this is not true, but it's been proven that men want to hunt. It is in their nature. They want to conquer. They want to, they want to be able to pursue. It gives them a level, that adrenaline that comes from that babe, don't worry, I will get her. That babe, don't worry, I will get her. There's a level of fulfillment, a level of adrenaline that is released to their system when they are doing that, when they are embarking on that pursuit. And when they're able to achieve it, there's a level of fulfillment, a level of feel-good hormone that come into their system. And when you deny him, the beauty, the enjoyment of this, then it becomes a problem. Because he's not able to get that fulfillment from, pursuing you. As a woman, we are not the same. No matter how gender fluidity is becoming, it is still not, women and men are still not the same. We are still not the same. Especially now, don't forget that what makes us human, there are a lot of factors that contribute to our personality, and you cannot rule out our upbringing, the societal influence. See, You talked about patriarchy when you were talking earlier. For Africans, for an average African man, what we call love, what men call love in Africa is control, provision, and protection. He want to control you, he want to provide for you, he want to protect you. That's love to him. Think about it. Our great-grandfather, our grandfathers, our father, that's what they were doing. And you know, when it comes to conditioning, it's not like, yes, they might sit you down to tell you, but in a lot of cases, they didn't even sit you down. You were seeing them, you were picking it up, and then you were forming the way to behave. So in those days, a man is having like 10, 20 wives that all the women are looking forward to is just to feel the warmth of their husband. So it's not about orgasm for them. It's just for them to know that I'm still part of the equation. Those are the kind of men that raised your husband. That is the kind of society that your husband was exposed to, where women are not meant to have orgasm. In fact, where in order to make sure women are not enjoying sex, they have to go through female genital mutilation. You can imagine how they were thinking. So orgasm is out of it completely. The reason why women are having sex with their husband is to make baby and to still feel like I'm still your wife. I'm still part of the equation. So you see, for now, men that were raised like that, now finding themselves in this Gen Z generation, where women now are beginning to know their rights, beginning to demand that, you know what, I want orgasm, I want to be satisfied, I also want to enjoy sex. The man cannot cope because he was not raised that way. In a lot of cases, he just wants to pat your leg and then make love to you, or not make love, have sex with you. Now you now have a woman that say, oh, you must touch me, you must give me a hair, you must finger me, you must do all of this, and the woman and the man is saying, where is all of this coming from? In the process of doing all of that, trying to figure that out, is losing his erection. So you can't rule out culture from our condition. In fact, I feel like monogamy is un-African. And this is not to say that monogamy is not good anyway. I mean, I can give you 1,000, maybe that's exact, but I can give you so many reasons why monogamy is better than polygamy. But I don't think we are ready for what we imported. I don't think African culture is ready for monogamy. Because we want to practice monogamy, yet we still want to have plenty women. We still want to, jump on a woman. We still feel like a woman is not supposed to experience orgasm. So yes, over familiarity, tendency to relax. When your relationship becomes technical, I'm trying to just round off now, relationship becomes so technical. It's all about money, bills. The only thing that you talk about are bills and money. Children's school fees, you want to build a house, you want to buy a car. That's what you are doing. You're like business partners. The thing that brought the two of you together, you no longer even invest in it. Where do you want to see the sex? It's sex will fly out of the window because you begin to see each other as business partners. What are you talking about? What do you discuss in your marriage? You want to build a house, you want to buy the car, you want to send the children to Canada. That's the only thing you talk about. So you are like business partner. Marriage becomes very technical. There's no romance. There's no more dating. You don't even kiss. You don't kiss. Romance is not African. It's crazy. Romance is not our thing. Romance in those days, that's why they say Nigerian women, you buy them flower, they will tell you, why are you giving me flower? The same way the women have been conditioned is the same way the men have been conditioned. So we don't date. People feel like you only date before you get married. You date for the rest of your life if you are married. When my clients come for counseling, when I notice that they've drifted apart so much, after doing the conflict resolution, I'm taking them to dating. I'm telling them to be dating timetable because they are no longer dating. They are no longer doing all of that. They don't even kiss. I say this a lot of times. That last time some couples. Okay, can you hear me?
Is it from us or from her? Can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. But you can leave it. It was okay. Why do you keep changing it? It was okay.
Okay. So you no longer date. I say it a lot of times that the last time some couples kissed was when they were getting married and the pastor said, you may kiss the bride. They don't kiss anymore. We don't, there is piled up resentment. Yeah, and we don't talk to therapists anyway. So he has done this, he has done, and emotions will never go away unresolved. So you pile it up, and then you began to resent. How do you make love to somebody you are resenting? In a lot of cases, she says, I've forgiven you, but I cannot forget. They are there, right? So how do you have sex? So yes, boredom, it becomes boring. No spicing things up, no new things. You are just there, you don't even take time back to say, what do I need to do to invest in this bond? So to answer your question, yes, from experience, from my clients, from a lot of people that have spoken to me, a lot of marriages are in that situation where, yes, loyalty to a particular woman is killing their penis. And in a lot of cases, it is not physical or biological, it is psychological. And it's most of these things that I've talked about, because people are now becoming like business partners. People are now becoming like friends. There's nothing to look forward to. So no excitement.
That's so much to unpack, there. So much to unpack. It looks like a gloomy picture, but I'm sure there is hope. So there's something you said particularly, Dr. Tolu, that caught my attention, that men are hunters, they like to hunt. And I think that, that kind of resonates, because you see a particular man at home with his wife, but if he goes out, it takes on a different, a particular kind of form and a shape. And you're wondering, is this the same person? So my question is this: how can women? So let's assume we are going by, and this is not so saying it's acceptable. You are saying that biologically men are it's a natural thing. Men are naturally hunters, So how can women remain prey, wives who have been married to their husbands long time? How can they remain the prey so that their husbands see them as prey and they continue to hunt? Because within a Christian marriage, it's expected that the man is, within the marriage is not expected to go out. But if he's seeing his wife like a sister or like a this thing, so how can you as a woman remain that prey, that your husband sees you as a prey, so he continually wants to invest? Particularly for let me paint this picture. Particularly for remember we're talking to mostly women at midlife. So for a woman who is at midlife, don't forget that she's menopausal or premenopausal. Her looks are sometimes not the same. Gravity has taken place in some places. So these are some of the challenges. She's so busy. There's business. There's so many things. So a lot of times, sex takes the backstage. So where do we begin to? Where do we start from? So peradventure that there's one or two people who are here and the marriage is dull, because I kind of resonate with that. That tendency for marriages to get dull if not being intentionally worked at. Where is the place to start from? How can the woman become like a prey? How can she, dealing with all of these things? Where is the hope? Let me just put it this way. Where is the solution? Where do we start from? Dr. Tolu, where is the hope? What should be done? What's the role for the man? Because it can't be just the woman. The man is a hunter. So what's the role for the man? What's the role for the woman? What should we do?
So thank you so much. I mean, look at you. Look at how beautiful you are looking. Right? So, I mean, talking about what should we do, there are lots of things. The first step, is what I've mentioned earlier. We need to be deliberate. You need to be deliberate. You need to be able, imagine making the same effort you are making to grow in your career. Imagine making the same effort in your marriage. And when I'm talking about your marriage, I'm not talking the children, the house, the cars you want to buy together. I'm talking about your bond. That thing that brought the two of you together. Imagine investing so much energy to nurture that thing. All right. So yes, there are a lot of things that you could do. Like I said, I'm an advocate of separate rooms. In fact, I'm an advocate of distant relationship, really. Because I feel like when people, if you are seeing yourself once in 2 weeks or once in a month, when the person is coming, you are cleaning up the room, you are tidying up every corner, you are putting perfume, you are putting scented candles, you are dressing up, you are buying lingeries, you are making food, preparing for the arrival of that person. it's like it's new every time the person is coming. But, because of the normal cares of life and everything, if the two of you are together, tendency that you are coming back from work, you are so tired, you just want to fling your clothes somewhere, and then so I feel like it's much. I'm an advocate of distant relationships. So, but even if you are not in a distant relationship, keep that distance. Even if you are sleeping in the same room, but if you can use different room, I love it. Let him be coming like he wants to go and meet his girlfriend in the other room. It's beautiful, and that is why that Northern, they do this a lot. He wants to come and meet his wife. But for a lot of people, they feel like, oh, I want to feel his warmth. I want to feel his touch. Yes, touch is very powerful. But the truth is, the touch that you can feel even once in 3 days or once in a week or once in a month, in some cases could be more powerful than the one you are feeling every day, depending on the kind of energy that you are giving. All right. So yes, you can just, number one, concentrate on your individuality. Invest in your bond. Do that. Be deliberate about investing in your bond. Concentrate on your individuality. Have a life. Have your female friends as a woman. Go out with the girls. Hang out with the girls. Don't just be there. You can't afford to just be there. He's going now. You are there. Afternoon, he calls you. I'm at home thinking about you. This thing. Even if you're a full housewife, have a life, have something that add value to you. Man, value is, how do I put it? Value is like aphrodisiac for men. Value. Even for African men that does not want their wife to work, they are always looking for value. That is why you see a man that have a woman at home that will be running after, that's why you see corporate ladies are always very sexy, especially for an average African man. In fact, I'm running a research on that. They run after women that are agile, that are outgoing, and then their wife are home, sitting down there, and they are not feeling attracted. When your life is bringing value, it's something that makes men to feel attracted to you. Even if you are still not seeing your children, or even if you are a full house, or even at midlife like this stage, sometimes I have to tell women that I'm working with them to go and look for events. Wake up in the morning and dress up and say, babe, you are being at home every day. It's always knowing you are there. Just say, babe, I will be attending this meeting. Dress up and step out. Dress up and step out. Let him see you just looking good and just going out. All right. Then, so those are the things that I feel you could do. Get your individuality, invest in your bond, create that level of just getting a life, right? At the same time, invest in your look, and I'm sure a lot of us, we don't have problem with that. Invest, take care of your environment, take care of your body, be deliberate about your lingeries. And you need to be deliberate, you need to be calculative. In fact, he will be saying it, and you see you walk past in pants or in red pants and bra. A lot of I'm too old, I'm 60. What do you mean? You can't. Maybe just, you will be coming to your room to check something, and then you just decide to wear your red color. Men are very attracted to bright colors. So you just wear your red pants and bra, and he just came in to pick something, and he just look, and you just act like nothing, like you are just doing your thing. But the man is staying back and looking. That is you being deliberate. To him, is something that happened unconsciously, but you know that nothing is happening unconsciously. You are being deliberate. All right. So for a lot of women, sex, especially African women, sex is like chores. And this is where reconditioning have to come from. Sex is not chore. Sex is a stress relief. And until you begin to condition your brain and see it that way, there's going to be a problem. How do you even enjoy sex and see it as chores, for crying out loud? Sex is a stress. I can't begin to talk about the benefits of sex. A lot of things that sex will do for you, make you look good, make you look younger, release some feel good hormone into your system, make you feel wanted, make you, increase, boost your self-esteem, and all of this. Sex is something that when you are tired, you go home and you have it. And then you have it, you feel like, like you are taking Valium, like you are taking a sleeping pill. But for a lot of women, you see it as chores, and it's because you are not getting the benefits. If you are not enjoying sex, find a way to be enjoying it. Women actually have capacity to enjoy sex more than men, even though men would desire sex more than women, but women has the capacity to enjoy it more. I don't want to delve into that because of our time, right? So sex should not be chores. Invest in yourself. Look out for the benefits of it. Be deliberate, calculate, think of things you could do, be individual, don't lose your individuality in that marriage. Don't become like somebody that is just there. You need to be able to come with values. You need to have value. Men are attracted to value. I hope I've been able to give you points that could help.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tolu. Yes, so it seems like we have a lot of work. Somebody may be saying, why is all the work for the woman to do? Seems like we have a lot of work as women, but so where's the place of the man? Because somebody may be saying there that I've done all of this and my husband is still this, it's not working, it's not helping. What should the man be doing in the long-term marriage, in the marriage that's 20 years, 25 years? What is the role? Yes, the woman should, her individuality, don't lose your individuality, look good. You're telling the woman to look. What of the men who have pot bellies? Aren't we put off by pot bellies? What should the man be doing? So it's physical sights and looking good is not just for the women. What about, aren't women put off by pot bellies? Shouldn't the man be doing something?
Right.
I mean, let me ask that before I ask the other thing that I wanted to ask.
For everything that I've said, I'm thinking of me, I'm looking at, this is a women meeting, but notwithstanding, everything I've said is vice versa. Investment in marriage is 100. It's 100%. It's not like I'm coming with 50, you are coming with, nobody is doing anybody a favor. And I think women need to get that. African women, stop being an enabler. Majority of us are enabler. You are enabling bad things. I don't want to talk. I don't want you to feel bad though. Whatever I have said here is 100. The same thing the woman is doing, the same thing the man should be doing. So it's not just on the woman's side. Everything that you are doing, you cannot be, one person cannot make marriage work. It takes the two of you coming in with your top, skills, with your 100%. Right? So, and again, I need to quickly say this, that the fact that I said that I don't think African culture is encouraging monogamy is not to tell you that men, because I say men are hunters, then they should be running after women. That's not even the point. And I don't want people to get it wrong. The number one capacity that you have as human is your choice, is your capacity to make choice, capacity to control your choice. If as a man, you are saying, I'm a hunter, I'm polygamous in nature. I didn't say men are polygamous in nature. They are not the same thing. And whoever that told you that men are polygamous in nature is joking. Every human being have the capacity to make choice and to control their choice. So if you are making commitment to marriage and you are saying for better, for worse, I will stay with only you, you had better stick to it. If you know it's something you cannot do, then be in an open relationship. We live in marriages of deceit, of hypocrisy as Africans. And that's why I see how we struggle with monogamy. If you are coming in and you know that I cannot go feed Duan, then please don't go into it. Don't bring another person to be committed to you while you are sleeping around. You have the capacity to make choice. You have the capacity to say, I want to stick to one woman. Yes, men has testosterone, I understand. Men are going to desire sex more than women. But notwithstanding, it still does not mean they don't have the control, the power to control that desire. So they are not the same thing. And the reason why I mentioned that is the fact that the conditioning of our men is actually affecting their erection. Because erection is egoistic in nature. Erection want to do more when it feels like he's doing more. And for a man, that control is a big deal for him. Immediately the woman starts standing up, he feel like he's losing control. And the moment he feel like he's losing control, he starts losing his erection. So you can see how it's more like conditioning is what is affecting our men erection. So it's not to say that men cannot be monogamous. No, you have the capacity to be. But the truth is, yes, testosterone is there, but the culture makes it look, and women should stop saying, there are more than 60 different types of non-monogamous relationships in the world currently. So let everybody knows what they are going into. You cannot be committed to somebody and the person will be sleeping around. So I think our men need to, you see, there are a lot of work that need to be done on our men. So, and it is, so to answer your question, I'm not even exonerating the man. Everybody or the men, everybody comes in with their top game. But the truth is, for our women, you need to stop being an enabler. You need to stop. An average African woman is an enabler. You keep taking it, and then you now keep quiet, and then you now withdraw. How do you even exist in that kind of marriage? That's toxic. That's toxic. A lot of us are living in a toxic marriage and raising toxic children, raising toxic society at the end of the day. So this is not to exonerate the men at all. The fact that you are a hunter, you can still hunt the woman, right? You can still look forward to that woman. It's not even to encourage polygamy or cheating or infidelity. No woman, it's not every woman that could be cheated on. I hope you guys understand that. It's not every woman that could be cheated on. And this is where it comes to not being an enabler. I hope I answered the question.
Okay, so I take it from, it's summarizing what you have said is, it takes total commitment. Commitment on the part, total commitment, and be intentional and deliberate and have a vision for your marriage. This is how I want my marriage, because without vision, you can't even begin to build what you're talking about. This is what I want my marriage to be. This is, I want to remain the girlfriend. I want to remain the boyfriend. I want intimacy to be this. And then constantly being deliberate about taking action to ensure that it's that way and communicating about it. So, but here's the question I want to ask, because in my work with women, working with women, either as in the capacity of ministry, the capacity of a psychologist, in the capacity of a clinical counselor, in the capacity of coaching, one thing I always hear is that African man, the typical African man, ego, I will say it with capital letters, E-G-O, ego is a problem for the typical African man. Typical African man is very egoistic. So even where there are challenges, to talk about itself is a problem. It begins to raise his voice, it begins to shout, you know. So for a woman who is here, who is married to an alpha, they call them alpha males. They have so many names for calling them alpha, and I'm not putting men down. See, we're just being real here. How do we go around? How do we navigate this thing? So supposing you're married to an alpha male who is so egoistic, to talk about the problem is an issue. Even when the problem is from him, he doesn't even see the need to do it because of the place of ego. So everything is a woman's fault. How do you, as a woman, if you are in that situation, how do you begin to navigate that? Is it two of you to go to, you are the sex therapist, you are the clinical counselor, is it for two of you to go to counseling? If communication has that, you can't even talk about those things in the marriage. So what do you do as a woman?
So I'm sorry, I won't even call them alpha male. I won't call them that. I don't see that as the definition of alpha male. You know, alpha male allow other people to express themselves. They don't impose, but they come in, you know, they have this very strong personality, you know, and having a strong personality is not the same thing as being controlling. In fact, if you have a strong personality, you allow other people to be themselves while you still have the capacity to make your opinion known. But this kind of men that we have, they cannot make their opinion known except it is final, except it is not being questioned. So in a simple term, how do you resolve this? Don't be an enabler. You have the right to voice your opinion. You have the right to say what you want to say. Don't say, I will not talk. I will not. See, ego is not just an African man issue. It's for all men. All men has that thing. But for an African man, he now attach ego with control. You attach, and then what do you have? You have somebody that is highly dysfunctional. In fact, the right word is narcissistic. An average African man is narcissistic. Hardly can you see one without a narcissistic trait. It's just that the levels are different because the culture is rooted in narcissism. The way they were raised, in a lot of cases, they don't even know this thing is happening in their subconscious. And that's what I tell women is, it's more like you have a good person doing bad thing. That is why you will not fight them. Now, what they are doing is not right, right? But does that make them bad people? Not necessarily. It's just that they are doing things the best way they know how to do it. Should you now begin to bear the brunt? The answer is also no. But can you change it? Yes. And this is where therapy comes in, because in a lot of cases, you can't change them. I mean, if you are therapists or counselors or psychologists here, you know that you can't change behavior by motivation or by shouting or by crying. You keep fighting. So the right way to do is to find a way for the man to recondition his thinking faculty and begin to see a woman as a partner, not somebody that should not talk. And then you hear them say it. They don't even know it's coming from their subconscious. I can't control her. I can't control Dr. Tolu. I can't control her. And I'm like, why do you want to control? So yes, what should you do? Don't be an enabler. But don't hate at the same time because it does not know what it's doing. But at the end of the day, make sure you find a way to change that behavior, because you can't keep putting yourself in that situation. And the easiest way to do it is to go for therapy. I hope that answered the question.
Thank you very much. But there's another thing you said about distance relationship, that you're an advocate. And there are challenges to distance relationship. Is it an answer for, I mean, does it provide a solution for that? There are challenges as well. Don't you think so? What are some of those challenges?
Yes. I mean, it comes, every choice, our choices comes with consequences. So every of these choices, or choice comes with pros and cons, But for a distant relationship, the number one, somebody mentioned something in the chat box and said, alpha males are self-aware. That's, as long as self-awareness is there, you have established that you know whom you are. You know your capacity. And then, the major challenge is, I feel sexual, I feel sexual, and then my partner is not there. Come on, the world is a global village. I know there are a lot of religious people here, but you can have phone sex. You can have phone sex. And it could even be something that could bring spark into the marriage. A lot of you, if your husband says, can I see your bra? You say, you have been so conditioned that you cannot even do any of those things. Snap, let me see your bra. You say at 50, at 60, what's the big deal? But another girl is somewhere trying to even say, before he even asks, he will even send the boobs. She will even say, anyway, pardon me. But the point is this. Yes, distant relationship comes with its own challenges. But as long as you know whom you are, you have the capacity to control your choice. So cheating becomes, which is a major issue, becomes a non-issue. You know whom you are and you know what you want. You can control yourself. You have self-control. You can control your choice. You are good. Then every other challenges that come with it can be managed. There are a lot of things that you could do, to make distant relationship work. A lot of things, making sure you probably watch, maybe you are watching a series on Netflix. You can be doing it maybe 30 minutes every day, the time that is comfortable for the two of you, so that you have things that you are doing together. You can have phone sex, you have the time to talk. You can use the opportunity to pursue dreams and ambition. There are a lot of things that you could do that could make it more interesting. The truth is, staying together with somebody for so long could actually become boring. But when you are deliberate and you are making effort to spice things up, then it could be heavenly. Because, of course, long-term relationship comes with its benefit. So when you now put all the things that you're supposed to do to make to keep the fire burning, then you can enjoy the benefit that comes with the long-term relationship.
I'm going to say, before you talked about benefit, I was going to say, Dr. Tolu, is it only tales of woe and the benefits? But I'll come to that. Before I say that, I will come to that. I was going to say something there. So one thing that I said, and I'm being personal here because this is about real conversations. And I think I was having that conversation with you when we spoke about 2 days ago, that one thing that has helped in my house is in our own room, my husband has his own side of the bathroom. So we have 2 bathrooms inside our room. My husband has his bathroom, his toilet, his closet on this side. I have my bathroom, my toilet, and closet on the other side. Then this is the room. So we're not living in different rooms. So we're living in the same room, but we're using 2 different conveniences. And that has helped. So the other day I was having a conversation with my husband, and he says, yes, that Sometimes I'm dressing. So this is talking about that haunting thing you were talking about. So he was telling me that sometimes I'm dressing my own corner. I do not know that he's spying me from his own corner. And it gets him excited and all of that. So that's talking, just putting it out there. So that's another thing that can work. I am not, well, we are all different. I wouldn't say I'm an advocate of long-term relationship, but I resonate well with that, your individuality. Be an individual. Have a life before you are a wife. I take that again. Have a life before you are a wife. Some of us are just wives, no life. So it becomes boring, you know. Yeah. So that individual, giving yourself some space. Just as you were saying to Dr. Tolu when we were having conversation, don't put the bomb out there. Hide it sometimes. Yes, it's your husband's own, but still hide it sometimes so that when you eventually open it, he gets, you know, excited. So now let's talk about the long-term relationships of benefits. What are the long-term relationships of benefits? For instance, number one, knowing your body, and this is being personal. Long-term relationship in marriage has helped me know my body better, know my husband's body better, you know touch areas better, and communication. So my husband, I would give him credit for that. I don't know if he's here, if he's listening, or wherever he's going to listen for. Sex is a big deal for him, and he doesn't look for the sex outside. So he's always on my head. If the frequency is decreasing, sometimes he will say to me, when was the last time? And I'll ask you, do you know when was the last time? And he will quote the exact date, the exact week. And I'm asking him, are you keeping a diary? Are you writing a diary? Are you taking notes on all of that? He says, if something is important to you, you've got to be intentional about it. You've got to keep track of getting it better. So let's talk about long-term benefits. Benefits of long-term commitments, long-term marriages. Over to you, Dr. Tolu.
All right. So the fact that you have this person that if the whole world is against you, if the whole world, even your family, your parents, your sisters and brothers, everyone is against you, there is one person that will always have your back. There's nothing as sweet as that. That you know that even if everybody turned against me, there is somebody that will always be there. That level of safety, that level of confidence, in fact, is good for your mental health. So that's one of the benefits of long-term commitments. And companionship. The fact that you don't have to do life alone. It could be lonely. Life could be lonely and boring. Life could be difficult sometimes, but the fact that you have someone that, you know what, if I don't have anybody to talk to, at least there will always be this person, so that level of companionship is a beautiful benefit that comes with commitment, all right? The support, the fact that you have a support system. We in mental health, we kept talking about, no matter the kind of mental health issues you are dealing with, when we are talking about what to do, we always mention, get a support system, get a support system. That support system is also very good for you. Then the affirmation. For somebody to say, to let you know that you are still beautiful, I still care about you. For a man to be saying, if you leave me, I will die. All those kind of a thing, to let you know, to attach a level of importance to your being, to who you are, for somebody to be saying those sweet nothing, they are very good for us, especially women. Unfortunately, African men are not even so good at giving it, and I have to train some of them. But those sweet nothingness, you are beautiful, you are, sending notes at work, sending lunch, all those kind of things. Somebody, that that is doing all of those sweet nothing for you, right? And then what about sex? The fact that you don't need to worry your head when you need to have sex. Sex is so beautiful that it's not something you should look out for. Something you should be looking for, or something you should be begging for, something you should want and not able to get, right? So the fact that you can get free sex, free orgasm is another benefit of, long-term commitment. And then you are not just getting the free sex, you are getting it with somebody that you care about, that you love. Sex is, love making is deep. It's connecting, it's spiritual. The fact that you can experience that with somebody, it's a beautiful thing, and not just with anybody, all right, but with somebody that you connect with. The fact that you can raise beautiful children, you can have children that, you can call your own, you can have a family. It's another benefit of a long-term relationship. And of course, maybe finally I will talk about societal approval. I mean, in this kind of situation, in this kind of environment, sometimes women are coming to me and they want to go for divorce, and we are weighing our options. We are weighing, we are weighing our options. We are looking at, if you divorce this person, what are the pros and cons? Can this marriage be fixed? Because if you leave, the church is going to suspend you. Landlord is not going to rent accommodation for you. People are going to laugh at you, the stigmatization. So it is what it is. We are still in Africa. So when we look at all of that and we look at, you know, what will it cost to fix this marriage? Can we try, right? You know, because societal approval is also still good. It's not like a societal support system. As much as you don't want to care about, you don't want what people are saying to worry or bother you, of course, if you are close to me, you know I'm an advocate of that. But notwithstanding, societal approval still reduces your stress to a level. All right. So those are the few points I can think about.
Coming from that is, so for this person who's already gone through the trauma of divorce, separation, you know, and all of that, how can the person get past that trauma to find purpose again? Yes, you are saying we should try, from what you said the last time, we should try and work it out because of societal approval. It's good to be married, companionship, and all of that. But for this person, maybe one or two persons who are here, they've already gone through the trauma of divorce, of separation, or all of that. So how can you get past that trauma to connect to purpose again? That's one question. And then secondly, for the person who has not even married at all, who is at midlife, is not married, no children, dealing with loneliness, dealing with all of that, any tips for that person? So on these two questions, please, Dr. Tolu.
I know I'm not in your shoe, and people might say easier said than done, but I'm telling you that these are proven facts that you are better off alone than being in some marriages, the kind of marriages, majority of the marriages that you are even seeing around. That's the truth. Majority of these marriages, are dead. People are just coping. So sometimes you are even better off to be alone than being in a relationship or marriage that is messing with your mental health. And that's the truth. So if you have been, and it takes a lot of courage to be able to step out of such marriages. The people that are there is because they don't have the courage. They don't have the capacity. I've seen this. I remember a lady, you know, I don't want to bore you because of our time. It was a very bad situation. I saw them 2 years ago. The man was really abusing her. Physical, mental, financial, every form of abuse. Very bad situation. They came back after the session they had with me. They came back 2 years later. The table has turned. What changed? She found herself. If you are alone, please, all you need to do is to go through the journey of self-discovery. When you find yourself, you know, you discover yourself, self-awareness, self-discovery, self-actualization. You know, you have dreams, you have aspirations, you work towards them, you know what you deserve, you know why you are doing what you are doing. You can answer all of these questions. It's as simple as self-actualization. When you get to that point, even if you are going to marry, you are marrying because you choose to. You are marrying with your eyes open. And again, another thing you could do is, in fact, everything is tied to self-actualization, but get to a level of self-awareness so that whatever anybody is saying will not move you, all right? Then get busy, get a life, get busy. And then for people that are single, that are still planning to, you know, you want to get married or you feel like you are lonely, occupy. If you have to go and make timetable for yourself, there are a lot of event websites all around. Go there, there are free events. There are some that you have to pay for. Have a timetable for the next 2 months. Make timetable, call it a self-love timetable. Include meditation, include mindfulness, include going to the gym, include, you know, going on a lunch date, date yourself. If you have friends that you can go out with your friend, date them. Invest in yourself and step out. Just make a 1 month self-love timetable. It will help you, or make it like 2 months. You know, these are the things that I think you could do. If you are probably alone or you are divorced, go through a journey of self-actualization, and at the same time, do things that makes you happy. Make a timetable. In fact, you can do it. This is the beginning of October. Do from today 3rd of October to the end of October and see if you are going to see any changes. Thank you.
Hey, wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Tolu. I think we've hit this, so many things you talked about, you know, for the one who's in a dead marriage, getting a life individual. It takes intentionality, it takes working out, it takes being deliberate. The same way you build your business is the same way you should build your marriage. The same way you build your career, it's the same way you should build your marriage. And it's not one person does this and the other person doesn't do that. It's for the husband, it's for the wife, you know. So, but for somebody who is in an abusive, you said, if you're in a situation that puts you down it's better to be on your own than to be in an abusive situation that strips you of all human, you know, dignity. Now, I'd like us to take some questions. I know we're going into the questions and answer session now. Our speakers and facilitators are available, you know, but just before we go into the question, as we're getting ready, if you want to ask your questions, if you want to unmute and ask a question, please just raise your hands and they will unmute you. You can ask your questions. If you want to put your questions anonymously in the chat, we'll read the questions and answer, you know. So whilst you're doing that, Dr. Tolu, closing remarks. What are your final thoughts? In all of these things we have unpacked, all of these things we've talked about, what are your final thoughts?
Okay, so finally, I will say marriage is beautiful. Marriage is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And two should be better than one. But it is better to be one than being in two that is messing with your head. All right? So at the end of the day, when everybody finds himself or herself, it becomes easy to attach to the right person and to attach rightly. For a lot of us, we have been conditioned in the wrong way. We have not even dealt with our trauma. And when you want to fall in love, you are falling in love with your trauma, with whom you know, your trauma not dealt. Your trauma is the one that is making the choice for you. So I think everybody should go out there and find themselves, go through the journey of self-awareness, self-realization, self-actualization. At the same time, understand that marriage is beautiful and it comes with a lot of benefits, but it requires hard work. It will not take care of itself. But if you are single or if you are alone, being alone does not necessarily mean that you should be lonely. You can also make your life interesting. Thank you.
Much, Dr. Let's give a round of applause, some love. Let's show some love to the different speakers, Dr. Tolu, Tosi, Deborah. Let's show some love in the chat area. Let's show them some love, Okay, yeah, they're showing you so much love. I can see on the screen so much love coming. Yeah, so much love. And show some love to yours truly. I've worn many hats in this session. I've been the host of the program. I've spoken, I've moderated. I've worn many hats and fantastic, but I thank God it's been an exciting time. So we'll go into the Q&A and then our different speakers, honorable speakers, will give if they have final thoughts again, and then we'll give some announcements and we're out. We're almost done. Thank you for your patience, but I'm sure you can say that it's been a time well spent. It's been a time well spent. Okay, I can see some hands up. Abike Wese, please, you want to ask a question, you want to make a contribution, please go ahead. Thanks to all our facilitators. They are showing you so much love. So Abike Wese, please go ahead. If it's a question, it's a contribution. Yes, and let us know which particular person are you targeting the question to. Please go ahead.
The question to Dr. Tolu.
Okay.
So we've been married for 27 years, a beautiful marriage. However, and I'm a career woman, and he supported me all through my career. I've reached the hem of my career. I'm 55. However, about 6-7 years ago, his business went down, and I guess that affected we've not made love in the last 7 years. But we're together. I've listened to all the various advices. He's in Abuja, I'm in Lagos, so we don't see often. Before he comes, we'll make plans. He said he's going to see doctor. I'm not angry because I know he needs support. And, because of a man's ego, he tells me nothing is wrong with me, but the truth of the fact is that area is not working, even though he's been a wonderful man in the last 27 years, that even if I have to come back to life again, I would still love to marry him. So my question is, and I've not really used the career to flaunt, or to, because I know that God is the source, and once I'm blessed, he's blessed. And when his career was down, I was bearing all the responsibilities to be able to help and even tell the children not to bother him so that he won't feel too stressed. So where do we go from here, Dr. Tulu? Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Okay. Do I answer the question? Okay, so one, I'm so sorry about your situation. I'm not in your shoe, but I know, from experience, that it's not a good place to be. Sex is so spiritual that it's when you want it and you can get it, it's no big deal. But the moment you start wanting and you're not able to get, it becomes a problem. So yeah, so sorry about that, but like you have been there for you. What should you do? So, and I'm glad that in a lot of cases, people are not even able to lay their hands on where the problem is coming from. So, but in this situation now, you notice that it was when, his business was not doing well that this started. So to let you know that erection is very egoistic. In fact, I'm seeing a couple currently, and what the woman said was, I started feeling like a man. As I said, because by the time the husband was not making money, she was making all the money, doing everything in the house, all the bills, school fees, She said, I started feeling like a man. And that is huge. That is huge for an average African woman, an African man, because he wants to be able to control, to be able to have his erection. So if you feel like he's not in charge, he loses his erection the moment you start feeling. And the problem is the first time that thing happened, if you guys have been able to find a way to, the first time you just notice that you wanted to penetrate and is not able to get it on, immediately you are able to, probably seek for help. You will have helped. But at this stage, I can't even begin to tell you that do this, because every situation is peculiar. But I think with therapy, if you see a sex therapist, I think something could be done. Because from the look of things, this is psychological. It is as a result of him feeling like he has lost control. Money is huge for everybody, especially for Africans. The way we see money is a problem. And it's our conditioning, is the way we were raised. So the man feel like, I need to be able to provide for you. I mentioned it earlier. Love for an average African man is provision. So he can't provide for you. He doesn't feel like a man. He doesn't feel man enough to be able to take charge. So in this situation, it's something that you probably might need to go for therapy, and then you start gradually. We begin to look for the kind of exercises we can give to you, sensate focus exercise, how you can date, how you can warm up to each other, and begin to gradually recondition him and let him begin to feel like he's in control. The moment he feels like he's in control, the erection will come back. I hope that helps.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope she answered your question, or did she answer the question well?
Oh, sorry,
I think she did.
Response. Thank you.
I've seen it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Tulu. Any other questions? Are there questions in the chat? Did I see? I think I saw another hand up. Did I see another hand up? Go to page 2 of the gallery. Let's see. There's another hand up. Are there questions in the chat area as well? Okay, there's a hand up. Yeah. So please unmute Marian and go ahead. You can go ahead, unmute Marian and go ahead.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
We need you to be a bit louder.
Can you hear me?
Just a bit, turn up your volume a bit. Okay.
Yes, I guess we can.
Okay, so I don't have a question. I just wanted to appreciate you, Okechinye. Thank you so much for this session. I thought I'll just sign in for a few minutes, and here I am 2 hours after. I really want to appreciate you for this. Dr. Tolu, always spitting facts. Thank you so much for this. I really just wanted to say thank you for sharing this. I have learned so much here. I invited a couple of friends, and I'm sure they've learned so much too. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for this session. And I hope, I also wanted to say, I hope we'll be able to have access to the recorded audio for this session. Yeah, that would be really nice to have so we can share with people around. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, you would have, I think at the back end, they are doing the recording. You would have. Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions? Any contribution? Don't leave this place the same. And we are rounding up now. After this, we'll take just some announcements. Please stay to the end so that you will get all the announcements that we have to take. And then we are off. Go to page 1, page 2 of gallery. Any hands, any contribution. So if it's not a question, if it's a contribution, something that resonated with you, you want to share an experience because your experience or your story might just help some other person who is here. You want to share something, please go ahead. And yeah. Okay, so we'll just take some final thoughts from each of the other speaker. Just concluding remarks in one sentence, starting with you, Tosin.
Okay. So we've spoken a lot about.
Sorry, sorry to cut you short. Doris, please go ahead.
Thank you. And thanks for organizing this section. I think it was really, really impactful. My question is this. So I actually chatted on the chat box to Tolu. What percentage of your salary do you think it is wise for every lady to keep as outside of every other expenses that we talked about? So just basically, what percentage do you think it's the best percentage you can work with in terms of saving for your old age? That's my question. Thank you very much. And to Dr. Tolu and the team, I want to say a big thank you. My first time of joining this call, I think it's been very, very impactful and very, very insightful. So thank you very much. But that's my very own question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So my advice to every woman right now on this platform is save at least 20% of your salary every month. At least. If you're able to, save even more, that's good. But you realize that you have some running costs as well. So you have some living expenses that you need to take care of. So you have to set aside. And that's where budgeting comes in. You're planning ahead of your month. So you're planning, okay, there might be some expenses I need to set out. Some of us rather already know some expenses that are already fixed. You know that, okay, every month I have to pay for, I don't know, DSTV, I have to buy internet for work if you're working from home. So you already know those costs. So once you set out your budget, take out 20%. If you can do more, that's great. But at least 20% of that, you should put it into savings. And like I said, the conventional bank might not give you as much as you would like to enjoy, in terms of interest rates. But if you come to somewhere like FBN Quest Trustees, or you choose to set up a trust fund, you could get even more from saving that same amount of money as well. So 20%, 30% you can use for your running cost, and then the other 50% of your savings can be allocated to essential items, and then 30%, maybe other things might come up that you didn't really plan for, but 20% is the amount you should set aside. I hope that is clear.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks.
Yes. I'm not sure I can still hear you.
Please go ahead, Tracy.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Just closing remarks. Closing remarks. We're done here.
Okay.
I was just checking to see if
Okay.
there's no other question. Yes, no other question. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, closing remarks. So my advice is, as you know, we started off this session about building financial security. Is it too late for me to get it right as a woman? My answer is it's not too late. You can take that step today. You can reach out to me. My email is available with the host, and my contact details are also available with the host, and we can share this on this platform as well. So if you have any issues you want to speak to us about, you're thinking of setting up a trust, maybe for your child's education needs, for your retirement, you want to set up a retirement trust, or you have a business and you're thinking, okay, how can I ensure that this business lasts even longer and, to the next generation, let my children enjoy from it, you can reach out to us. We can discuss a business succession plan as well. But for us as women, we must be forward thinking. I would end it the way I started and say that a virtuous woman, a Proverbs 31 woman, is a financially secure woman. She's not an impulsive spender. She considers what she has before she spends, and then she's forward thinking. She's always thinking of new ways to create more wealth for her family and for herself. She considers a field, she buys it. From the profits, she plants a vineyard. And we can all become that person by taking that step today.
Over to you, Deborah. Thank you so much, Tosin. We can all be that woman who's confident, who takes action, who's wise, who's balanced. Concluding remarks, Deborah.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. So from me, I'll conclude by saying that, the popular saying goes that self-love is the best kind of love. So as women, we need to look out for ourselves more and actually do more for ourselves. And one of those things we can do more for ourselves is to take steps to ensure that we secure our financial futures so that we can live the dream life that we truly desire. Then lastly, I would say that financial security, as we've been talking, as we've been explaining all morning, that financial security is not such a big deal. It doesn't require superpowers. All you need to do on your own part as a woman is to take that firm decision that this is what I want to do. I want a better future for myself. I want to secure my future. And then all you need to do is to approach us at FBN Quest Trustees, and then we'll take your answer from there. Thank you very much. We'll share our contact details with you on the chat box, and then you can approach us with any other questions you may have or any inquiries you want to make. Thank you very much. So it was nice being here. Yeah, we'll do that.
I just want to say thank you for putting this together, and I want to say thank you for everyone who mentioned that for those who are interested in becoming professional counselors, they can reach out to the Institute of Counseling in Nigeria to do that. We train professional counselors in different fields of counseling. I will drop the website address. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was Janet Cruz who said, people who are intentional about looking at their life multi-dimensional and taking action to balance spirituality, that's relationship with God, family, ministry, career, purpose, hobbies, significant relationships and social relationships, as well as community. They are more likely to find satisfaction in life and to avoid that big what is life all about crisis in their latter years. So our vision for the Fulfilled Woman, which is the platform to have this learning experience, is to raise women who are well balanced so that they can maximize the second half of their lives. +234 81 5552 5555. Please put the link also for women who want to join. We have counseling available for life and career concerns every third Sunday from 4 p.m. Of course, we have our quarterly live series, which is what we are doing now. We have a thriving WhatsApp group where you can join us, or you can send an email to rockteachingministry@gmail.com. That's rockteachingministry@gmail.com. So thank you so much. Just reiterate the offerings. FBN Quest is giving us, I hope the numbers are there for that. Dr. Tolu has talked about Institute of Counseling. You've got to do something with the information that you have received today. So please take a step of boldness, whether for your mental health, whether you want to join the fulfilled, you're looking for a community where you can maximize the season of your life, or you want to register to take on some professional counseling courses. We also have our last offering, which is a program I've put together. I say it's a new path workshop. This comes up in December, 12th to 14th of December. Healing from trauma is a journey that requires support. So a new path is a program I host for women who are recovering from abuse, from loss, who are retired or about to retire, struggling with midlife crisis, facing emptiness and wanderingness, or in any other life transition, or if you are just simply stuck in life. We've done the first cohort in February. We have the second cohort coming up in December. It's a 3-day immersion of beginning a healing journey to get you to where you want to be. Usually it's done for 50,000, but we're doing half the cost for today for the first 20 women who sign up. Please put the link also in the chat area. Of course, we've got resources at the Rock Teaching Ministry, Building the Dream, Living the Life, and In His Presence, all of which are available at okespeaks.com/store. Thank you so much to our wonderful facilitators, Dr. Tolu, Tosin, Deborah. Thank you so much for your time here. I hope and I trust that you're living with something and with an action plan. So cheers to a new you. Cheers to a more balanced you. Cheers to a more financially secure you. And cheers to enjoying intimacy in your marriage. It's bye from us at the Rock Global Center, on Zoom, on Facebook, and on Instagram. And we're going to dance out. We'll not just sign out. We're going to dance out with the music Unstoppable.